You've probably heard of carbon offsets, but what are they, and do they actually work? If you've ever bought meat or dairy that was labeled carbon neutral, there's a good chance carbon offsets were involved. Carbon offsets are based on the idea that people and businesses can cancel out, or offset, their carbon emissions by paying for a reduction in emissions elsewhere. For instance, a cattle farm based in Texas might fund a tree planting initiative in the Amazon. In theory, carbon offsets allow people and businesses to reduce their overall carbon footprints without actually changing their day-to-day practices in any way. If that sounds too good to be true, that's because it is. A growing volume of research has found that most of the time, carbon offsets don't work. Here's why. For one, we emit much more carbon dioxide on an annual basis than we're able to trap on an annual basis. This means that even a maximally efficient carbon offset program can't actually reduce our total carbon emissions. It can only slow our rate of emissions. The second problem is that carbon dioxide stays in the atmosphere for a long time. We're talking hundreds of years, and so any tree that's planted as part of a carbon offset program needs to stay up for just as long. Otherwise, it'll just release all the carbon dioxide it's stored back into the air as soon as it's cut down, and every bit of progress will be undone. But it's almost impossible to guarantee that a tree won't ever be cut down at any point within the next several centuries. The third problem is that a lot of carbon offset programs just redirect emissions elsewhere. If a company pays to have a plot of trees protected from deforestation, that's good, unless a local beef producer responds by simply deforesting a different plot of trees a few acres north and building a cattle farm there instead. Unfortunately, that's often what happens. Polluting companies often claim that by purchasing carbon offsets, they're making positive steps toward reducing their emissions. But because carbon offsets usually don't work, this actually sets back progress, as it allows major polluters like the meat, dairy, and oil industries to avoid making other substantive changes that would actually reduce emissions. Ultimately, it comes down to this. If we actually want to fight climate change and bring down global temperatures, we need to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide that we're emitting on a regular basis. Just paying other people to plant trees isn't going to cut it.